Do you think America is safer because President Trump issued these pardons to 1,600 of these criminal defendants, many of whom violently assaulted our police in the Capitol?
Senator, America will be safe when we don't have 200,000 drug overdoses in 2 years. America will be safe when we don't have 50 homicides in a day.
So you just won't answer the question.
And so, I was talking to a lot of people about Kash ahead of all of this, and what they were sort of telling me is that they thought this was sort of this idea of his sort of podcast bro persona going against his more sort of government attorney or his federal public defender persona, and those two clashing against each other. And I think he sort of saw that dynamic unfolding there. He wanted to do sort of the little bit of the pushback, but he was also willing to concede that he didn't think it was great for people who assaulted law enforcement officers to be pardoned. So that's definitely something that I'm sure the president isn't going to be too thrilled about somebody undermining that. But all in all, Kash is still someone who wrote a book about Donald Trump being children's books, a series of children's books rather, about Donald Trump being king. So I think this is something that Democrats are going to continue to press on. The question is whether or not that's going to actually move any Republicans, and I don't see any signals right now that there's going to be any real opposition emerging from Republicans to Kash, which means that he's likely to be confirmed. And of course, this is unlike those other positions in the cabinet. The director of the FBI has this 10-year term. That was original. That was something that was supposed to have been a 10-year term for the previous director. But this is now would be theoretically a 10-year term for Kash Patel. Anna.
That's right. He is coming in. Christopher Wray resigning because Trump wanted him to, even though Christopher Wray had been initially nominated by Trump in his first administration. So unprecedented to even be in this type of confirmation hearing at this stage because the 10 years weren't up. But Frank, there's been concern expressed about both of these nominees, Tulsi Gabbard and Kash Patel, within the intelligence and law enforcement communities. You're a former FBI official yourself. Your thoughts about these nominees? Is there reason for concern?
Well, there's deep concern here. I mean, first, what we've seen today is ludicrous. Both these nominees want us to believe that they've undergone confirmation conversions. At the last minute, they want us to believe they've changed their mind on all their prior statements and positions, and suddenly they're going to do the right thing. That's just strains credibility and credulity. Second, we're looking at two nominees here who, in the history of the United States, we've never seen two nominees for these positions that wouldn't even make it through an FBI background investigation if they were applying for lower level jobs. If you and I, Anna, were applying for a low level position at either FBI or DNI, and we had this baggage, these allegations hanging over our head, these relationships, these statements, we would be disqualified from the security clearance. But because these are going to be nominees heading the agency somehow, we don't see this happening. This idea that Tulsi Gabbard's background investigation was, quote, perfect, pristine, whatever was said, nonsense, because we know publicly about all of the concerns hanging overhead with regard to her visit to Syria, her statement, questions about who paid for her trip to Syria when there are links to terrorism, her statements about Vladimir Putin and Bashar al-Assad. What's happened with the Hegseth nomination was that the Trump transition team did not share the entire FBI background investigation with the key members of the Senate. I fear that's what's going on right now. Both of them are disqualified for these positions.
And what's at stake then? Because it sounds like both are likely to be confirmed.
Yeah, we've got two candidates, as we've seen with the other nominees, who simply are more loyal to Trump than to the Constitution or to the institution they're being allowed to lead. So at the FBI, we can see the kind of severe abuses of power. Drop that case. Don't open this case. Go after this person that we saw under J. Edgar Hoover. Horrible abuses. And I fear we're going to see that again, particularly when paired with the Attorney General pick who oversees the FBI. With regard to DNI, I don't think she can be trusted with classified information. I don't think she's qualified. She has zero qualifications with prior intelligence work. And I think that's scary, particularly with regard to our allies who look to that position as a position of trust. We're going to share our allied intelligence with you. You better keep it secure and not use it for political purposes.